Awkward face in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, my friends. It is Sunday morning and it's early for me to be filming. No, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, hence the reason I look like total crud. I have to go out. I don't like going out, especially on weekends. I like to stay in, but we are getting a major snowstorm that could bring, like a foot or more. Now, I know for some of you who live in snowier areas, that's probably nothing, but for me, it sends in my mind dread of a snowstorm. So one of you requested that I do a drugstore get ready with me, and I have to tell you guys, when you suggest or ask me to do videos, it really warms my heart and it makes me feel very special, and I just have to say thank you for that. And when I can, I am very happy to oblige. Anyway, I have one of my little lucite cases that I purchased. It's really dirty, by the way. Oh my goodness. And it's filled with some drugstore products. I do have a lot of drugstore, and it was very hard for me to pick out a drugstore palette that I wanted to use. But I wanted to use one that I don't think a lot of people talk about that I happen to love. I know my friend Clara Barrera speaks of them, and she is absolutely correct. So I'm not going to show you all the products now. As I use them, I will talk about them, but it's also going to be a chat to get ready with me. And there's a reason for that. Okie dokies, I already have all of my skincare on, but I don't have primer on, and that's because I wanted to try this one on camera. I have used it before, but I want to show you guys, because you saw me receive it in the Trend Mood box. Primer that I want to use is the new NYX Marshmallow Primer. It's that fluffy... No, this one doesn't. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, I do like it. I said I've used it. Turn on my light here. It's actually quite moisturizing, and it mixes with sweat beautifully, in case you're interested. I had an extremely hard time picking out what drugstore foundation I wanted to use, so I brought out my Maybelline Dream Urban Cover, which I like, and I used these the other day, but I think I found them just a little bit drying. I think these were more for my summer skin, which is not as dehydrated because of the winter, but these are the Revlon Candid foundations. I really like the coverage of these, and I have the two colors because I mixed to find my perfect color. I think I'm going to use the Maybelline today. It is really funny, but I think my dad has been watching Hawaii 5.0 in like the last 5 videos that I made. I don't know. So this is an SPF 50 foundation, and I have the color 220 Natural Beige. It's really not the best color for me, but we're going to make it work, and I do have a mixing medium as well. I'm going to try my foundation brush first. Oh yeah, she's dark, so let me just lighten it up a little bit. Yeah, it's a little better. So I wanted to talk to you guys because I'm having this little problem that I don't think there's a solution to, but I know you guys will maybe empathize with me. So I will tell you that I have not been to the supermarket in a month. I've been using Instacart or Peapod, but they're very expensive. And a lot of times the things that you pick, they won't get it right. They'll send the wrong thing, wind up having to go to a different store anyway. The last time that I went to a supermarket, I had a very bad attack of vertigo when I got into the store, and I broke out into a cold sweat, and I got nauseated, and it was so hard, but I had to push through because we needed those things and nobody else can get them for me. And it was traumatizing, and just, I have it stuck in my head that when I go back into the supermarket, the same thing's going to happen. Because of the MS, I always have a problem shopping in supermarkets. It's the big bright fluorescent lights, and having to turn my head back and forth, it can sometimes trigger my vertigo. But it triggered it so badly that literally I'm terrified to walk into a supermarket. The lighting is really bad right now. This silly mirror the battery's dying, so it's like so dim, it's not bright, and I'm struggling, but whatever. As I said, I already know I really like this foundation because it doesn't cake up on me. It gives a nice coverage, not overly heavy, but not too light either. So I also have a lot of drugstore concealers. That's another thing I have an overabundance of. What do I have here? The two e.l.f. concealers, the camo, the hydrating. I have Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate, and then I have my Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser. This is the corrector. I'm going to put this on first, but before I do that, I want to put on the e.l.f. under eye primer that I have. This one's pretty nice. I don't know if it does a tremendous amount like the Becca one that I happen to like, but it has a little bit of a peach undertone which can cancel out a little bit of discoloration. If anything, it adds more moisture, which is something I always need underneath my eyes anyway. Some people don't like the little spongy applicator. It doesn't bother me. You know what, I think I have to get my Simple Human mirror because this is just driving me cuckoo and I have no patience today, so I will be right back. The only problem with the Simple Human mirror is that I have to keep it off to the side because it's too tall, and logistically nothing works for me. You know how that is. So we're going to do our best. I like to keep the mirror directly in front of me so you can see what I'm doing and I can talk to you. I recently fell back in love with the Instant Age Rewind because it doesn't cake up on me, and that's always a big problem. I think I will use the Hydrating Camo Concealer from e.l.f. I could not find a good color in this either. This one is in light peach. I'm not going to go too crazy trying to get perfection, I said, because once I start shoveling, I'm going to be a sweaty, disgusting mess. Hence the reason I didn't even bother doing my hair today, because I'm going to become a hot, sweaty mess. Honestly, the only drugstore powder that I currently have is the Coty Airspun, which I absolutely love. I just haven't gone out and purchased any powders because I've been receiving so many lately. But this is, I believe, a $6 or $7 product. You get a ton of it, and they come in several colors. I really like it. It is heavily scented, so if that's something that bothers you, you may not like it. But it's a oldie but goodie, tried and true product that's been around forever. I think my grandmother freaking used this stuff. And my grandmother today would be, she died in 2007, and she was 99 and a half, 113. Just for underneath my eyes, I'm going to use very little of this e.l.f. under eye setting powder, because if I use too much of this, it has a tendency to cake up on me. I'm currently trying out this Caprice filter in a box. I got it on sale for $3.97, I think, at Ulta or somewhere. It doesn't matter. It was originally $14.99. It is a multi-use palette. It has some setting powders and, you know, brightening powders, and then it does have a highlight, which is a little subtle, but it does the job. I'm going to try this as a contour. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll find out. So, as I said, I have a lot of anxiety now about going into a supermarket. Something that everybody just takes for granted, that, oh, you just go to a supermarket. For me, it is so much more, and it's terrifying, and I'm really suffering badly. I hate saying that because I try to be a really positive person and say that my MS will never get the best of me, but it's usually the things that most people take for granted that are really scary things for me. So here's the thing, like, what do I do? I said most people don't have this problem of, how do I go to the grocery store? And I know in the grand scheme of things it's probably small to a lot of people, but to me it's absolutely huge, and it's absolutely terrifying. And I normally don't complain. This is what's bothering me, is that I'm getting into not a woe is me, but I'm just really frustrated, and the future scares the bejeebies out of me. I'm also going to use my Wet n Wild bronzer. This one is in Sand Gria Castles. Isn't that cute? I want to just be able to do things like everybody else, and I can't. And I've accepted that about so many things. When it comes to grocery shopping, you know, I said I don't want it to come off sounding like I'm complaining, because I'm really, really trying not to. I'm just frustrated, and I'm sharing my frustration with you guys. I wasn't going to use this, but I looked on the Wet n Wild website recently, and it is still available in like a little kit. The whole box is available, but I think they have this and maybe 2 of the lipsticks. It is the Pac-Man High Score Blush Palette. I love this thing. All of the colors work for me, and for those who like a little bit of a shimmery blush, you know, it acts as a blush topper, and it's really, really pretty. I just like it, and I said I want to use it, and because it's still available, I figured I'd use it today. They are very pigmented, by the way. I'm not one who likes extremely shimmery blushes or bronzers for that matter, but this one I happen to like. Goodness, I also forgot about my most favorite drugstore concealer, which is the L'Oreal Infallible. I use this one with a Too Faced Born This Way concealer. It is my absolute favorite combination of concealers. I'm just such a mess today. Not just today. You know that's every day. That, you know, I'm going to forget things. It's obvious. Wow, I'm pulling out everything Maybelline today. This is the Master Prime Eye Primer. It's okay. It's not the most opaque, but I like it because it doesn't dry out my eyelids or make them look like I'm 90. The palette that I said I had a hard time choosing just one today, but I wanted to use something from LA Girl because I really do enjoy their eyeshadows. This is the Pro Artistry palette. I've had this one for a while. I love that on the back they show the color story. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to show you names because they are on the sheet, and I'm not going to go back and forth. It has a beautiful neutral side, and then it has these awesome shimmers. As you can see with the dips and the shadows that I do use it quite often. These shimmers and metallics are so incredibly buttery soft and so freaking pigmented. I mean, look at that, for goodness sakes. I'm going to set my eyes with this one here. The other thing that's really frightening me is that we're going to have this really big snowstorm, and if my little snow angels don't show up, I don't know what I'm going to do. I used to love the snow. I still love the snow as long as I don't have to clean it. I said that's why I really wanted to move. Did I tell you guys that the move has been put on hold? My dad just doesn't want to move. This is the house that he grew up in that's been in the family for so long, and he's changed his mind. And I can't disagree with him. For a transition, I'm going to go here. I love my Simple Human mirror. The only problem is that it goes in and out, and it happens a lot. And then when you want it to go off, it doesn't go off. I don't know. See, it just went off completely now. I can't figure it out, but it's a very expensive mirror, but I really love it. But as I think I was saying before I interrupted myself, is that I want a place where they do the snow shoveling and plowing for me. Because, you know, with MS, you just... every day is a gift because you don't know how many good days you're going to have. And I can tell you honestly that I have never had a day when I have woken up and said, wow, today I feel great. Since I got sick, that has never happened. And it's been going on 17 years. Every day I wake up, it's, all right, how terrible do I feel? Like, it's not I feel great, it's like what my level of not feeling good is for that day. And again, not complaining. I'm still walking, I'm still talking, I'm still able to work, as hard as it may be sometimes, but it's not that I'm giving up. It's just voicing my frustrations. You know, and as far as a support system, a lot of people with MS have, and they need a good support system, and I don't have that. And that's okay. I've gotten by on my own for so long, and I'll continue to get by on my own for so long. Again, sometimes it's frustrating. Like this mirror currently. I'm going to go with these greens today, so I'm going to use this darker chocolate here because I need something to anchor those darker greens. And believe me, I'm fully aware that there are many people in this world who have it worse. I'm always very self-aware of that fact. But doesn't everybody need somebody to just say, I'm frustrated, and just have somebody say, I don't necessarily understand, but I hear you and I'm listening. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, that's why I love having my channel so much. I truly respect your opinions and love hearing your stories and what you've gone through. And like every time somebody says, oh, I know exactly what you mean, even with the silly things like kittens popping out of purses. you guys are such a sounding board, and that's why I call you my family, because that's how I really feel. That's hard for some people to understand. They're like, they're strangers on the internet. Well, you know what? Sometimes the kindness of strangers can be more rewarding than the real people in your life. For me, I have been extremely lucky in that I have this amazing group of people that enjoy watching me, and I enjoy talking to them. So thank you. I'm very grateful. I'm going to try to pick up this dark green metallic with a brush. I normally use my fingers, but let's see if it translates with the brush. Now it's not doing it as intensely as with my finger, but it is definitely depositing color, and I'm just tapping it on. Oh, this is so pretty. I know I've been promising you guys my eyeshadow palette collection, but again, that's a very daunting task, and I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to sit down and film it in one setting. You know, I'm going to have to film it maybe on 2 days and then splice the two together, because the overwhelming majority of you said that you didn't care how long the video was, you would prefer one video. And again, I appreciate your feedback on that, but having to take them all out into this area and go through them, it's daunting. So that's why I've been putting it off. I had all intentions of doing it in December. Would have been better in December, but I'm going to attempt it on winter break, which is coming up not next week, but the week after. So hopefully I can do it then. I'm not making any promises. I don't like making promises that I can keep, which is why I don't make promises too often. I'd rather the person be surprised to say, wow, she actually did it. I'm going to try applying this other green shimmer here. I'm going to try applying this with a brush first, and if I don't like it, ooh, how pretty. I do like it with the brush. I was going to say, if I don't like it with the brush, I'll use my finger, but I don't need to use my finger. Haha. My get ready with me's are never professional. They never go the way I intended. And what I really appreciate is that you guys are like, you know, because I'm just a real person with a full-time job and a half-time job, and I don't pretend to be this fancy YouTuber who has this glamorous life. I'm a hardworking girl just like the rest of you guys. And I think, and at least you've told me, that most of you just appreciate that. Some people, I'm sure, would prefer to watch somebody who's more professional and can do these amazing artistic looks, but I know that's not my reality, and I know that's not the reality for a lot of you guys. So I have always kept it real on this channel because I can't be anything but me. I don't want to put on farce and be something or pretend to be something that I'm not. I am this silly in real life. Just ask anybody at work with the stupid jokes that I crack all day long. I think I'm going to go on my lower lash line. It may be a gigantic mistake, but I'm going to use this kind of terracotta-y. Terracotta-y? Add that to the book. Awkward face in 3, 2, 1. That was actually a good choice on my part. I want to take like a smidge of this charcoaly black color. Did I show it? Did I show that? By the way, I think these palettes are about $15, but CVS or Walgreens or even Ulta, they have so many sales, and because it's a drugstore too, if you get the coupons, you can use them on that. And I even think the $15 is very much worth it. Yeah, that black just gave it a little bit more drama. Oh, I have to tell you, I did order one of the 5-pan, or is it 4-pan Wet and Wild little shadows. They're all kind of not copying Natasha Denona, but the concept of those little baby palettes is taking off. And I also ordered one of the ColourPop palettes. Again, I'm not ordering the whole collection. The ColourPop I actually got for $7.50 because they were having a sale. Was $10, which I thought was a little bit high personally, considering the 9-pan palettes are, you know, usually around around $12. And then I can't remember how much the Wet n Wild one was, but I wanted to like compare the two and then kind of compare them, the quality and such, to my Natasha Denona palettes that I have, because I have 3 of her $48 ones, the 5-pan, and then I have several of the minis also. And no, I did not go out and get the Mini Love collection. I just, as much as it's attractive to me, I'm just not ready to pull the trigger on it yet. I'd rather spend, you know, the $20 on 2 palettes or so than the $25 on the one. I know it's super popular right now and everything, but you guys know where I'm coming from. I want to take this silver. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good choice for my, ooh, this one is, when I say mega soft, I mean I just dug a little chunk out of it. It's mega soft. So tread lightly in that one, but look at how gorgeous. I mean, look at the little chunkies I just took out of that. Let me try to press her back in there. I mean, just pressing it back in, look what it did. I mean, that's just touching the gosh darn shadow. I'm going to take the teeniest, tiniest bit of this shadow here on my brow bone. Even though my brows aren't done yet, you know. Speaking of brows, just let me do my brows. Truly, this is one of my favorite products. I have so many brow products and I keep just going back to this, and you will see what I mean in a second. Look at how much I have used this thing. I don't use this one as often, only because I usually just forget. This is the brow highlighter color, and this is a wax to try to kind of set it. I don't use it that often, but I really, really like this a lot. I got 2 of them, one a little bit darker, and I don't go into that one too much. It was because it was buy one, get one free. I will sometimes go into that one and for like the tail, and then use this one for the inner part of my brows, but it's just so gosh darn good. By the way, this is the medium kit if anyone is interested. I am going to use this white powder so on my brow bone so you can see how it works. I did bring out 2 liners, my e.l.f. the No Budge retractable liner, and then I also have my number 7 Stay Perfect Amazing Eyes. They are both in black. This e.l.f. is a little bit blacker than the number 7. The bottom one is the e.l.f. The top is the number 7. The number 7 is a little bit thicker. This one has a really medium size point to it. Let me just try this one on my waterline. Yes, it is so comfortable on the waterline. I forgot to bring a puff out to do this for my upper, but yeah, what are you gonna do? I just used my number 7. No, I wasn't tugging, by the way, just holding my eye. Works really well. For my bottom waterline, I had brought out a purple because I happen to like purple and green together, but I think instead I want to use this Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen, and it's in the color Pewter. These are pigmented and beautiful in the bottom waterline. Do you know the problem I have with it? They don't sharpen well. I wind up having to sharpen half the pencil away because the point always breaks off, and that is the only complaint that I have about them. Do you guys experience that? If not, tell me what sharpener you're using so I can run out and get it, please. I'm going to use one of my very, very favorite drugstore highlighters, and that is the Flower Beauty. It had that silly little brush that I just got rid of. It was useless to me. This is the Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. It has a light pinky silver, a more pinky one, and then a goldish tone one. These are absolutely stunning and beautiful. If you look, yeah, you can see how much I've used them, that's for sure. I'm going to use this lightest one over here, which is called, I don't know, I don't think it has a name. Just gorgeous. I love it. can never go wrong with that palette. Never disappoints me. Now, I ran out of my Lash Paradise eyelash primer. Shocking, I know. For me it is too. I discovered that I didn't have any more, but I also realized that I have to use up the other primers that I have. So I have this e.l.f. primer. It's nice, I like it, but nothing will ever compare to that Lash Paradise for me. So I was thinking about doing a video of my most expensive products, a full face of them. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that also. Thank goodness for this thing that I got at Ulta. It's one of the eyelash separators because whenever I get a clump, it absolutely saves the day. For some reason this eye is just clumping up on, I don't know why. So anyway, I thought I would do that video because then I can say to you guys, not whether you need them. I never say you need anything. I don't like the videos saying, you need these. No, you don't. You may like them. You may want to try them. You definitely don't need them. But I thought that I could say whether or not I thought they were worth it in any way, shape, or form, and that might be helpful. You guys let me know. So the mascara from drugstore that I have, again, I haven't gone out and purchased a mascara in so very long. This is from, guess what, Maybelline. It is the Lash Sensational. It's a little baby sample that I got. I've been enjoying it. It has a really nice curved brush, so if you like curved, fluffy brushes, this one might be the one for you. Now, as you can see here, it's thickening, it's a little bit lengthening, not as much as some others, but I do definitely like it. I have no problems with it flaking or misbehaving. This one's like Goldilocks. It's not too wet and it's not too dry. Oh, by the way, it is a plastic. It is a plastic bristled brush in case you were interested in knowing that. I wasn't going to do lipstick, to be perfectly honest, because I'm going out and I have to wear my mask, and I don't wear lipsticks underneath my masks. For me, it's silly. But I just grabbed the very first drugstore lipstick I could find. I don't even know if the color works for me, but that's okay because it's coming off anyway. It is the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit. That's from Wet n Wild, and it is in color Nudist Peach. Let me just swatch it on my hand. These are a little bit moussey. They are not super pigmented. They have a cute little doe foot. Actually, it goes. Now, as you can see, you can still see my lips through this stuff, but it doesn't bother me because it's a light enough, neutral enough color. They're very comfortable, and I like them. Well, my friends, what can I say? Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to the person who requested that I do this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas for some good products. I would love to hear your opinions if you've used them, if you had the same experience that I did, or if you had a different experience. Maybe you can help somebody else below in the comments. And, you know, most of all, guys, I really want to thank you just for listening, just for being there, for letting me be me unapologetically. I always tell you that you are the most amazing YouTube family I think that is out there. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay well, stay healthy. Most of all, my friends, whatever part of the world you're in and around, I love you tremendously, and I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week coming up. I will see you really soon in my next video. I look forward to your thoughts. Thanks. Much love. Bye.